Good afternoon. Welcome back to the 43rd Ryder Cup here at Whistling Straits. We are joined by European captain Padraig Harrington. Padraig, we have pairings and now we have matchups too. Maybe an overarching thought on the four teams you put forth and what you see in the matchups that will go off tomorrow morning.
Well, obviously, I'm very comfortable with the team I've put out there. Strong, experienced team. I did have 12 players that could play foursomes, so probably it was a pretty tough decision to have to rest four. It wasn't a very easy decision. I think it was pretty clear to me where we were going, though. Very happy with my partnerships I put out there, and clearly it's interesting when you see the matchups. We would have been aware that JT and Jordan were going first, obviously, so we were obviously going to lead ourselves with a strong partnership, as you can see with John and Sergio. So I'm sure the whole world will be watching that one. After that, we got the Victor Hovland, rookie. What a great player, what a great guy. Equally matched up with Paul Casey, strong player over the years. Not really necessarily thinking that we're going there for an experienced guy with a rookie. Victor is in a nice place, but two strong players together. Obviously Lee and Matt, both from the same town at home. Two strong players. Matt himself, a great match player, playing great, and Lee, a stalwart beside him with the experience. I like the way that they've come out together, played together, and I feel pretty strongly about that. And obviously, everybody would have predicted the last one. I assume that wasn't too hard. Rory and Ian played well in the past. Probably going up against their new young guns. Patrick and Alexander look like a partnership that they may be looking for the future, going against an established partnership of ours.
Okay, thank you. Let's hit the floor. Shane, number 3.
Padraig, I thought it was very interesting that all four of your pairs only played together in the practice rounds 1 out of 3 days. That's highly unusual, not just for European teams, for American teams, for anyone. Can you explain the thought process there?
We knew our partnerships well in advance. We knew our partnerships with picks, and all that was considered. You don't want to get bored playing with a guy. Honestly, I've had it in tournaments. You play 3 days with somebody, and then you're playing with them the next 4 rounds of golf. That can be really tough. I want everybody in my team to play with everybody in the team, to not turn up in a week like this and by the end of the week go, I never saw a player, I never experienced that player, and I never got to see what they were like in this situation. So I was very keen on the players to mix with each other and to get the full experience of the other 11 players in the team. I knew the partnerships were looking after themselves. That yes, they have to trial foursomes, and they did have a go at the foursomes, and made sure that they're comfortable with which tee shot they're hitting and which ball they're hitting. They had enough of that, where I just didn't want them to overdo it. So I know I'm probably the first captain to do it like that, but it's certainly every captain has to bring their own personal experiences. And from my personal experience, you want to turn up on Friday and still have that freshness and enthusiasm and excitement and a little bit of intrigue in the first, when you're going out there.
And then a quick follow-up. You hinted at it. How soon did all these players know about these matchups? When did they learn them?
I would think the earliest ever, so very early. They're well aware of what they were doing early on this week, and it's something players have said they want to know. So we knew. I probably told you these partnerships, likely partnerships. We've been working on these for months. When the team was named a week ago, I will say I have 12 players that could play foursomes. So yeah, there was no partnership. There was other partnerships that could have gone in there, but there was no surprises in terms of what we could do. We had plenty of options, and a strong possibility was we will mix and match our foursomes going forward as well, because as I said, we have 12 players who are very balanced, very strong all the way through, and good ball strikers that can play both foursomes and 4-ball.
Thank you.
On your lower left, Jeff, 19.
Patrick, you have a Matt Fitzpatrick going out in the third game. You were an assistant in 16. He had a rough go. Can you just speak to the growth you've seen in him from that point to where he is now?
Well, look, he's always had it. I know he didn't have a very good week, comfortable week that week in 2016. We had a tough week as a team. But Matt's been an underestimated player for whatever reason for the whole of his career. He continually delivers on a big stage. He is a great player. Does fantastic. Like, all the way back to he's a US amateur champion. Yet seems to get lost just because he's a quiet lad and a studious lad and works hard. I think he gets lost a little bit in the general media in the sense of there's not enough razzmatazz for him. If you look at his results and the way he plays, he's great. I've said it all along. I focus much more on the score the player does than anything else. It doesn't have to be all showy and fancy and all that. Matt is just a great, solid golfer, and always underestimated, and not by me or his team, but sometimes people, just because you're not flashy, as people don't seem to not think of him at first point. Even there, you were nearly struggling to get the name out. Like, he's been around a long time and is a winner.
All right, right across here, the way, number 6.
Hi, Padraig. Steve Stricker was saying that nothing is going to, barring injury or illness, nothing will change his plan for tomorrow afternoon. Is that yours as well, or are you going to watch how they go in the morning and maybe adjust things? Maybe adjust your plan for the 4 balls?
No, I think we're pretty set. Yeah, I would know my plan for tomorrow all the way through. Players are aware of that plan, and clearly we don't put the team onto late morning because things can happen. Anything can happen. That's slightly, I won't say unknown, but slightly unknown at this stage. But we will be very set in what we're doing, and it would take a lot for us to change our mind.
We're going to go to Alex on 20, right behind me.
Patrick, you've been a vice captain numerous times. Has the pairings part of this and when you've told players changed from the first time you were vice captain till now?
Certainly changed since first time I was a player. I know my first one I found out, just before the opening ceremony on the Thursday, that I was playing Friday morning. That was kind of somebody had pulled out sort of thing, so that was a little bit different. But I think we have tried over the years to be as early as possible with giving the information, and I do believe this is the earliest this week for us. I got it out there early because we were very comfortable. As I said, this is an interesting team for Europe. It's very strong and balanced, all the way through. And foursomes wise, it's very balanced, and clearly in 4-ball wise. So it's not like it's we had plenty to sit down and work with, and it was it was a very fair way of putting out the team, and the players responded to that. They're comfortable knowing when and where they're going to play, and they've responded very nicely to that.
Because of that balance, could you foresee playing anybody 5 matches this week?
Yeah, look, yeah, absolutely. You get a guy out there winning. Yeah, you can push him a bit too hard. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, it is a possibility that players will play 5 times. It wouldn't be off the cards, no. But maybe in an ideal world, you wouldn't do that.
We are going to beam out to Ian Slattery. Ian, you're with the European captain. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Padraig. With Lee Westwood and Matt Fitzpatrick both playing Pro V1Xs, and Hovland and Casey both playing Pro V1s. They're both playing the same balls as their partners. Was that part of the reasoning of their choice on top of their obvious qualities? And a second question, is there any truth in the rumour you've ordered Packers jerseys and ditched the uniforms for the lads tomorrow after Steve Stricker's Chicago Bears admission?
Golf ball wise, yes. Yeah, it was a clear part of it. Players are interesting. It depends on lots of players can. And by the way, there's no one ball rule anymore in foursomes, so they have made it a lot easier. So you can mix and match their golf ball as you go along. But it certainly makes it easier if both players are using the same ball. But it also depends on the player himself. Some players, have good history and might have used another ball at some stage and are happy to change. Other players, mightn't necessarily have that in their head. So it's strongly considered what golf ball is being used by the players, and something you have to be very aware of when you're looking at a partnership. And we might recycle our lovely outfits from yesterday, the Green Bay Packer-esque ones.
Look forward to that. Let's beam out again. Adam Shupak, go ahead, sir. You're with Captain Harrington.
Padraig, given that you said that you feel your team's very balanced, that you could put so many different lineups out there, is it safe to say that all 12 of your players will play tomorrow?
It would be an unknown, like an unknown event if that didn't happen. Like, clearly, yeah, something that I can't predict right now. So we put the team in late tomorrow morning, and we do that for a reason, because obviously we have to look at all scenarios. But I can't contemplate a reason bar, I don't know, illness or COVID or something like that. But everybody will play, and everybody is ready to play, and they have been ready for that for the last 3 days.
Going out again to Scott Mishaw. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Patrick. I was wondering, you've put all of your most experienced players out in that first session. How much was that by design?
Yeah, we've gone with an experienced setup. Yeah, no doubt about it. But it was our strong setup. It just happened to be experienced. So yeah, I was happy with that. There's no doubt when it came out like that, and you're looking at it and you go, yeah, that's very experienced. That is a big bonus. But it was also a very strong setup. But it didn't weaken our four balls. That was very important. We still have a strong four ball setup, and we haven't taken from the afternoon by going with a strong setup in the morning.
Let's stay in the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scott. Follow it.
No, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's stay in the room and let's go to Brian 8.
Yeah, Padraig, can you just, I don't know if you've touched on it, talk about the importance of the first session in a Ryder Cup on the Friday morning, and maybe a little bit on the reason for your ordering of the four pairings.
Look, the first session, on the importance of it is decided after the result. That's the way it goes. The team that goes out there and gets a lead will say momentum is everything, and the team that doesn't will have to find another way. So we, in a perfect world, you would like to go out there, win the session, win it well, and lead from the front and keep going. We don't get that choice. We've got to go out and earn it. We've put out a strong foursomes group, yes. As regards the sort of positioning of the matches, the only one we would have been aware of would have been JT and Jordan, and we've gone a very strong pairing in that match. Outside of that, clearly Rory and Pulse were a pairing that would predict it, and I suppose if anything we could kind of just split those up from the first group there at the end, and we've two lovely pairings in the middle. So it's just a nice way. But we weren't too focused. Bar that first match where we would have been aware, we weren't too focused on who they were going to come up against or how that was going to pan out.
Just to follow up, was there something you saw in Rory and Ian in Paris a couple of years ago that encouraged you to put them together again?
Absolutely. They played lovely there. They work very nicely on this golf course. Both of them are in good form. So yeah, it was a partnership. We came here. that you would have always had in your head, and then when you match it up on this golf course, you show, yeah, this is a running certainty from early in the week.
Let's go over to Jeff, lower left, 19.
Patrick, John Rahm was in here earlier today talking about the great Spanish heritage in this event and what it's meant. How long have you been thinking about putting that pairing together with Sergio?
It's been there a good while, yes. It's something both of them really want. I think they're both at a nice place in their careers now that, it is interesting when you match up countrymen. I know, I would say this, I started off playing with Paul McGinley in the World Cup back in the day, and we won it in '97, and he was just a great partner, captain. But as I progressed as a player, there was a period where we just weren't a great partnership anymore. There wasn't a clear leader in it. I think with John and Sergio, they really have looked at this. They've matured themselves over the last couple of years into a beautiful position. Where it is the Ryder Cup, of course, where Sergio is he's the experienced one. He's leading out there, and he knows he's playing with the world number one. Fantastic for both of them, and they really very, very comfortable that they're going to get the best out of both of their games.
Right behind me, Alex, 20.
Patrick, we make a lot of the matchups between the Americans and your team. If you would have known what the matchups were beforehand, would you have changed anything?
No, you can't really focus on the opposition. You've got to concentrate on what your team is doing. I'm happy with what I see on paper. As I said, we did know JT and Jordan were likely to lead out. And we want a strong start ourselves. That is an interesting match, but you got to focus on your own team, your own players, and be comfortable that no matter who they come up against, they will do the job.
Captain, we're going to wrap it up right here on 3.
Patrick, Tommy Fleetwood obviously 4-0 in pairs in Paris. Got to be tough to leave a guy like that out. How hard was it, and how did he react?
That says a lot about our team. Very much says a lot about our team that he is comfortable after going 4-0 in the matches, that he's not there in the foursomes the first morning. He can look around his team and be confident that there's other people taking up that strain, and he is prepared to sit there and wait his chance in the afternoon, which really just sums up our team, how balanced it is and how comfortable, and the understanding of the players that that they have to give other people their opportunity as well. I want every player in my team absolutely dying to play every match, but I want them to also understand that there's other people in their team. They have to step aside, and they've done that brilliantly. They're in a very nice place, that they know what they're doing, they're ready to go, and very comfortable that their teammates are going to pull their weight, and that everybody will do their job this week.
Thank you.
Captain, you've reached Ryder Cup Eve. Have a good evening, and we look forward to seeing your team tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.